Hello everyone. I welcome you all to ATM Creations. Let's begin with today's challenge now. And today's topic is forgiveness. Do you forgive or do you tend to hold grudge for a long time? Now I want you to pause this video and share your opinion about whether you forgive or hold grudge or you do both. I've heard people saying forgive and forget. I don't know what exactly is the real meaning to whatever they're saying. Um, I assumed the meaning is you need to forgive people for all the wrongdoings that they did to you, and then you should not be remember about it at all. That's how I assume the meaning. I may be right, I may be wrong, I don't know. But my personal opinion about forgiving is at times few things cannot be forgotten, but you can forgive. Forgiving is possible, forgetting is not possible for me in few occasions. And that doesn't mean I hold grudge against people. I don't do that. But I don't let their wrongdoing to me affect my emotions all the time. I read in some as a quote or in some book, I don't remember exactly, but I have read holding a grudge against people is like you holding a hot coal in your hand with an intent to throw it on someone else. So, if you're going to throw the hot coal on someone else, of course, yes, it's going to affect the other person, but before that, don't you think it affects you first? When I was so immature, I did not understand this concept, but now, yes. See, I'm talking from my own perspective or my own experience, I should say. Holding on to grudge against someone, according to me, it means you thinking negatively about the other person, either by thoughts or by your emotions. Now, both of which is going to help you only in one way. What way is that? Reduce effectiveness of your mind. When your mind is occupied with so much of negative thoughts or negative emotions, your mind doesn't function effectively towards what is required to be done, what is good for you, what's next you can do to help yourself grow in every aspect of life. Now, don't you think we must be focusing more on the growth in different areas of our own life? And don't you think that kind of a growth is more important than using your mind to hold the grudge against someone? So, according to me, forgiving someone, whether it benefits the other person or not, it benefits you. It benefits you more than the other person. So, according to me, forgive and forget is about forgive the person who did something wrong to you, forget about what they did, and focus more about your own life. You should start focusing on your own life to the extent that you don't remember about the other person who did wrong to you. So, in that case, you're focusing more on your own life. There is a saying, what we focus on increases in our life. So, if you focus on someone who did wrong to you and hold the grudge against that person, you will attract more people who do the same thing to you, or maybe the same person will again and again and again keep repeating it to you. And there are people who have asked, Radha, what do you mean by forgiving? Does that mean we need to ignore whatever they did and be normal with them? No, 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 no. I used to tell them, no, 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 you got me wrong. Forgiving the person can also mean you forgive them but draw a boundary. You're not going to let them do the same thing again. And not letting them do the same thing again and drawing a boundary is completely your responsibility. You don't expect the other person to understand what they did wrong. It is your responsibility. The reason why I am saying that it is your responsibility is a person with the sane mind will not do anything wrong to anybody. So, if someone had done something wrong to you, it only means they do not have a sane mind. So, in that case, you cannot expect a person with insane mind to understand and not repeat the same thing to you. That is exactly why I told you drawing a boundary and not letting that person again do the same thing to you or something different is completely your own responsibility. Now, my personal experience about drawing boundary is when I started, the other person to whom I stopped them from doing the same thing to me did not like me, and I was told I'm not at all a people person. I was told I don't like the smell of human beings. And if you listen to those comments and loosen up your boundaries, that's a terrible mistake, I would say. So, my point of forgiving is important, forgiving is beneficial, not because it is important and beneficial for the other person, but it is very important and very beneficial for you. Forgiving has nothing to do with the other person, but it has everything to do with you. I have forgiven a lot of people, but my way of forgiving is I forgive them and then I block them out of my life. I'm not going to let them do anything bad to me again. When you forgive someone and draw boundaries or totally block them out of your life, you may feel, am I doing something wrong? That's kind of a self doubt, fear, and anxiety may come. And if it comes, that's absolutely normal. But don't worry, all this is part of forgiving. That's how it happens. You may have lot of self doubts. Am I really doing right? Am I a people person or not? You don't have to be. You can be a people person but not a people pleaser. You don't have to be like that. It is good to be selfish. Your own mental health is more important than anything else in this world. Prioritize yourself first, and that is exactly why forgiving is important. When you forgive, you start improving your own mental health. It's not going to do anything good or bad to the other person, but it does a lot of good to your own self. This is just my personal experience about forgiving. And at times, I have been in this situation also. Someone does something wrong to me, and I don't know what to do. And at that point of time, when I don't know what to do and how to handle, I leave it to God. I would say, God, this is the person who did this to me, and I don't know what to do. This really hurts me. And I would have a heart to heart conversation with God, saying like this. And of course, when I would have this heartful conversation with God, obviously my eyes will be welled with tears. Good people, when they shed tears, God counts it. Most important reason why I say forgiving is important is people who forgive tend to be more happier, and people who hold grudge tend to be more unhappy. Why should you be unhappy for someone doing something wrong to you? Of course, they did something wrong to you, that is why you are unhappy. But what I'm saying is, you don't let that unhappiness creep all over you and all over your life. Allow it for some time, process your emotion, get out of it. People who forgive tend to have a brighter life. They always see the bright side of life, and in reality, they would have bright life too. People who do not forgive, they tend to be in some kind of a darkness. That's not literal darkness, and I mean darkness in mind. They feel lonely. For someone else's mistake, why should you feel lonely? So they feel lonely, they feel unhappy, and the longer you hold the grudge, the more it is uh, creating some illness in your mind and in your body. Do you all know this fact that any physical illness, it all starts in your mind first? So it is very important for you to focus on your mental health first so that your physical health can also be taken care of. So, the point that I'm trying to make is forgive and focus on your own improvement and growth. Forgive your parents for their shortcomings. Forgive your friends, relatives, or your family members for their shortcomings. You have an inconsiderate neighbor, forgive them. You had an inconsiderate some vendor when you went for some shopping, please go ahead and forgive them. When you stop holding grudge, instead open your heart to forgiveness, you will be open to a lot of good that the universe is willing to offer you. So forgive and focus on your own health, your own growth. That today's mandala for challenge is done. Go ahead, recreate it, share it with me.